Up in an airplane, Mount Everest, no matter where, how high, it's always up here. Do you know why? Because the road rises to meet you.
Come on, walk.
That's perspective. That's an old Irish saying, isn't it? May the road rise to meet you.
Yes.
Okay, so this is what we're saying, is that the old guys knew what they were talking about. And this globe thing has only been around for 100 years. All those Copernicus and Aristophanes, they all were just made up and written in a book. And we're supposed to believe that they were ancient? No. They were made up. Our history is being rewritten for us to believe, and it's a lie. Our government is lying to us big time. So, there are, all this information on here can be found here. If you type this in your computer, you can watch all that information plus 2 other videos. The sun is very small and close. Here's the sun. It's like this close. And it goes around. That's what gives us light. Okay? So the sun is not 93 million miles away. If it were, it would not get smaller. And we have a time lapse on that card I just gave you. A time lapse of the sun. If it gets smaller, then it's got to be close. It's just going away from us. It's not going over the curve. But it does look like that at times when there's moisture in the air. And you'll see another video about that. Very interesting subject, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Did I do good?
You did great.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for stopping.
Okay, you have a good one.
You too. Nope. Hi girls, did you ever hear about the earth being flat? Did you hear?
Yes, I've heard that.
And what do you think?
I think it's craziness.
Really? Tell me why you think that.
Because I think people would have been falling off by now and would have been missed.
Well, you know what? There's an edge. Antarctica.
Stay right with Mama.
Antarctica is the edge. And we don't know what's past that. Some people think it goes on for infinity, but that's the edge. And North Pole's in the center. And all these world organizations use the flat Earth map. They all use that, but they leave off Antarctica. They want you to believe that it's just a little continent at the bottom, but it's not. So if you type this in here on your computer, you have a computer, you can type that in on your computer and you can look at everything I got on the banners and then you can decide for yourself.
All right, thank you.
It's really not a crazy idea if you think about it. I know it sounds crazy.
You had just raised it. Everybody thought it was flat and then they discovered it was round and now they're trying to say it's flat again.
No, the ball has only been around for 100 years. And
by the way.
they rewrote our history. This Copernicus and Aristophanes, they never existed. They just wrote it down, and now we're supposed to believe it. Our government's lying to us. Did you know that?
No, well, I think the government lies to us about a lot of things.
About everything. No, it's everything. Have a good day. Well, I got some information to her. I don't know. Can I teach you some science today?
Okay. pass. Thank you, though.
It's really not a crazy idea once you understand some science, like perspective. You think a ship goes over the curve, and it really doesn't. It just goes into the vanishing line. Like a horizon is a vanishing line. When there's two sides, there's 4 planes come together, that's a vanishing point. But there's just 2, it's a vanishing line. So the ship just vanishes. Now you have a zoom camera, you zoom in on it, then it brings it right back into focus. Yeah. So it didn't go over any curve. No. So this is our flat Earth map. North Pole's in the center. Antarctica goes around the outside edge. See? And these world organizations, they all use a flat Earth map, but they leave off Antarctica because they want to tell you that it's a little continent at the bottom, and it's not. Yeah. It's the edge. So if you type that in, you'll see all the stuff I have on the banners here, and 2 more videos.
Okay.
And you know, even studying it makes you smarter.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Can I interest you in some science?
Nah, good, thank you.
Baseball team is red and black and gray. So I have the baseball ones which are looking for discontinued. Yeah. So like I only want to use them as like an accent mail for the season. So now are the tips. I haven't gotten the print.
Why don't you come over here and wait, and I'll tell you some things. Come on. It won't hurt you. Really, science is a good thing. See? You heard me give a little spiel to the last lady. Do you have a question of any kind? Like ships disappearing into the vanishing line, you know, and it's a tough concept. But look, reflections are on a flat surface, it's a line. But if it's curved, you just get a little spot. See? But this is reality, isn't it? The reality is the line. You take all these things in consideration, you think, wait a minute, there's something wrong with this. You don't know. That's okay. Because you don't probably know enough to even ask a good question.
Well, I'm just sort of like thinking about like I'm not very well.
That's okay.
Versed
Do you
in, like,
guys watch YouTube videos together?
I watch plenty of YouTube videos. I'm just not. I can't really think of. I can't formulate something.
You can't figure out why you'd want to watch this?
Well, like
if our government's lying to us, they can make us do things and we don't have the facts. And we might do something wrong if we don't know. This is like the oceans.
Can I see that 1 second?
Sure.
how do
If
you
all
know,
the oceans are level with each other.
How do you know the government's lying to us?
Because this is true.
How do you know this is true?
Because I've tested it myself.
How do you test it?
2 years ago, I did all the research, and even this last summer, like 2 months ago, it was a winter. We went down to Wildwood, we took a P1000 Nikon, and we zoomed in on Atlantic City, 32.6 miles away, and I could see it right there. So you shouldn't be able to see it. According to the curvature formula, it should be down below the horizon.
Well, the thing about light is over, like, light bends according to gravity. So as light travels, it'll curve with the Earth. So then you'll be able to see further.
Okay. So if there is such a thing called gravity, there should be no natural flat places on Earth.
What do you mean?
Well, we have the Bonneville Salt Flats. Okay, that was a salt lake that dried up. If there was gravity, it would have been curved over that 100 miles. And then when it dried up, it would have kept the curve. But it didn't. It's flat.
Well,
I think at least, because I study civil engineering, and we use a different curvature formula than that. I think it's for like every...
Degree?
No, I think it's like a hundredth of an inch per every 500 feet or something like that. So maybe,
Well, we've had
I
this
don't know.
formula tested, but you know what? If there is that other formula,
Yeah.
test it yourself.
I was just curious because
Do
that's
you
why
test
I wanted
it?
to read it.
Do you test it? I mean, really, do you
I
look?
personally haven't.
Well, I think
That'd be
it's a
something
good idea.
interesting.
It's a good idea to do that and get one of those. You can even rent a camera or find a friend who has a P1000. They zoom in 85 miles. You can certainly figure it out by then.
If you have access to it, try maybe surveying equipment. That might,
They don't go far enough.
no?
No, P1000 will zoom in way farther than a theodolite. Yeah.
Well, like the thing is about like testing a curve is that you need like a very vast distance. Like there would be no way for you to like stand on like South America and then like look far enough to see Africa
Okay.
because
The
that
thing-
would be on the opposite side of the world.
Okay. The nice thing about a formula is it can go pretty small.
Right.
Relationally speaking, you should be able to test it for 1 mile if you had instruments that were good enough. Okay, like because this one says 8 inches for the first mile, and then after that you square it, so it's like 32 for the second or something. Is that right? 2 times 2 times 8. 4 times 8 is 32 inches, almost 3 feet in 2 miles. You should be able to, if you had good instruments, you could figure that out.
Okay.
So try that. Go and do that. But 32.6 miles from Wildwood to Atlantic City, that's a 681 feet, I think it is, and that's like a 68-story building. That's not happening. It's not happening. So where's the curvature? If we can see that, Chicago, over 60 miles, I mean, what's going on, you know? There's Caprea, 102 miles, and that's got a lot of height to go. We could be further away. So where's the curve? Show me the curve.
If you look at some of these buildings, you
Yeah.
might be able to see that like the water actually is cutting off the bottom parts of those buildings.
But that's 60 miles.
Right.
That's 2,400 feet. That's how that formula works out. And I'm not going to, say I'm going to convince you. I'm glad that you're looking into it and questioning it because that's what my goal is. Get people to question what's happening. I do want to tell you about NASA because NASA in Hebrew means to deceive. So they are a propaganda machine. This is right on their website. Why would they put this on their website? That's the same diameter. Which one's correct? Neither. Look what else they do. We have something called bubbles in space. So when they're out doing a spacewalk, we see a little air bubble go up the helmet. How does that happen in the vacuum of space? There's another thing. Since you seem educated, how do you have a vacuum and an air pressure system next to each other without a physical barrier? Impossible. You must have a physical barrier to have an air pressure system next to a vacuum.
I've honestly never thought of it, to be honest.
I
It's
know,
not something
I
that's
know.
ever-
And 2 years ago, I never thought of it either.
What organization do you work
We are all independent, but you will find me on that website along with dozens of others.
It's on here too, right?
Yeah, dozens of others of us who have found this out and love humanity enough to come out and be mocked at. Some of the guys will walk past here and laugh at us. I don't care. I'd rather reach the people who are going to be looking for truth. If you're looking for truth, you'll find it.
Well, it's good that you show what you want to inform people.
If you
on.
find it's true, then you can join us. But no, really, don't perpetuate lies. That's what I hate is lies. I don't want our good men going over and getting killed or killing other people that are innocent. And they tell us there's a national interest, like, what was that word? What was that thing? Weapons of mass destruction over in the Middle East? Isn't that why we went into Iraq? Weapons of mass destruction? Not to be found. I wanted them to be there. They weren't. So what's going on? They make us afraid And we say, yeah, go get them. And we're killing people. Why are we doing that? So I don't want to have our good men killed. I want to stop that. It'll be fun. Get a bottle of wine, sit down, turn it on, and get your mind blown.
Well, thank you.
Sure. Have a good day. You see? Now I'm going to tell you something. That last couple, the lady went to the bathroom. The man was standing there waiting. And I said to him, hey, come over and talk to me while you're waiting. And he came over. And they thanked me when they left. So are you bothering people by talking to them? No, you're not. You are loving them. So let me tell you this. Don't let anybody tell you that talking to people is bothering them. That is just a lame diversion. And it is a discouragement to spreading the truth. Now, who would do such a thing? Who would do something like that? Yeah. Start thinking for yourself. Do what's right. Were you in the Air Force?
10 years.
Really? Can I talk to you?
Busy right now.
Okay. Hey man, you ever hear of the flat earth? Ever hear of this?
Okay.
Now, let me tell you some things. Ever hear of this?
Nah, sorry.
I hope they come back, because that boy needed help. Hi there, you ever hear of this?
I did not.
No, would you like to know just one or two things?
Sure.
Cool. So this is the flat earth map, okay? North Pole's in the center. Antarctica goes all the way around the outside edge. We have Captain James Cook, logged 60,000 miles, and he was an experienced sailor. So they want us to believe that it's just a little continent on the bottom of this ball, but it's really an edge, a rim. We call it the southern rim. North Pole's in the center. Now look, all these world organizations use the flat earth map, but they leave off Antarctica. I don't think they want you to know that it goes around the outside edge. So what do we have? If we have a ball, at some point it goes out, it has to drop. You can't just keep going and stay on it, right? So we have a formula for that, how far it drops. Here is Chicago, and here's 60 miles in here. Lake Michigan, right? That should be hidden under 2,400 feet. That's like a 240-story building. Okay? It's not. It's right there. Okay, it's little. For sure it's little. But it should be hidden. Through the water you should be looking. And it's not. There's no curvature. That's what we're finding. No curvature. So look, if it's a flat surface, the sun reflects on a line. That's the reality. If it's curved, you only get a spot. Right? There's reality. The reflection on the sunset is reality. So what are they doing to us? Why are they telling us all these lies that it's a spinning ball? Well, spinning ball, they can fool us, they can rule us. Okay? And I don't want to be lied to, because when you're lied to and you believe it, you make mistakes. Right here, if you type that in, you'll get everything that's on my banner. It's a video. Okay, and there's 2 other videos on there too.
Okay.
Type that in and watch those. Get a bottle of wine and sit down and watch the videos and say, holy cow, could this be true? It took me a couple of weeks studying it. You're going to have to study perspective. That took me about 2 weeks studying that just to get it all like, are you sure? Or, you know, you got to study these things.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but it's weird.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. See, when I get tired, I'm not saying things right.
Okay. So that's, you know,
Less is more. Less is more. Did you ever hear about this?
No, I don't have time right now.
Okay. Hi, did you ever hear about this before? You ever hear about this before?
I have heard about it before.
Do you want to know anything?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. I know. Let me tell you a few things. Darn it, he looked, and I wasn't there. Did you know the Earth was flat? Did you know that? It's absolutely true. Did you know the Earth was flat? Did you ever hear about that before? Did you ever hear about this before?
Yep.
What do you think? You want to know some science? I can teach you something. Did you know that the Earth is really a flat plane and not a spinning ball? And it's true. You got to look into it. So, what do you think? Pretty wacky, huh? That's a real wacky idea that the Earth could really be a flat plane and not a spinning ball.
Oh, okay.
What a wacky idea. But look, all these world organizations use the flat Earth map, but they leave off Antarctica, which goes all the way around the outside edge. Right. Captain James Cook logged in 60,000 miles going around Antarctica. So how could that be a tiny little continent on the bottom of a spinning ball? That's not 60,000 miles. So here we have North Pole.
Can you fall off the side?
The only thing I teach is up to Antarctica, which is this. Some people think that it goes on for infinity. That's an infinite plane. Some people think that it stops at the edge like a dome is there.
Right.
But no matter how you look at it, Antarctica is holding in the ocean. All of the oceans. And as you can see, they are all touching each other. So they're all level with each other. Because we know water is level no matter what you do to it.
What's beyond the oceans?
Are you recording me?
Are you recording me?
Yeah. So that's great. My channel is Maryland Spirit Level. So that's great.
What's beyond the oceans?
I don't know. Why don't you go find out? I've never been there. And I don't know what's underneath either, because I have never been there. But I do know. Is it possible to get there? I don't know. We drilled a hole that was almost 8 miles deep. Other than that, we don't know.
So why do we know it's flat when we're being told it's round?
Okay, do you believe everything you're told?
Absolutely not.
Okay, good. So then you need to do your own experiments, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I did my own experiment. Went to Wildwood and I zoomed in on Atlantic City, 32.6 miles away. According to a curvature formula, which you have to have a formula if it's a spall, right? If it goes out, it's got to go down.
Yeah.
We have the formulations right here, how to figure that out, okay? So 32.6 miles is like 681 feet. It should be down. You should be looking through the water to see Atlantic City from Wildwood, and we're not. It's right there. I have a video on my channel, Maryland Spirit Level. Okay, I did that myself.
So why are we being told it's round and not? Like,
Well,
what's the point of covering up it being round?
Two reasons they are doing this. First off, if they can fool us, they can rule us.
Yeah, I agree
If they
with
can
that.
tell us to deny our senses that we're not really spinning, and that when we see too far, it really means something else, like refraction or something, or mirage.
So we're not moving at all then?
No.
So
No.
how's everything? So everything else is moving?
The stars,
Sun,
and the
moon.
planets and the sun and moon are moving around us. Right here, this is what you see. This is what you get, okay? When you look at Polaris,
That's what you get at the poles.
that's a Polaris, okay? And you leave your aperture open, you get star trails.
Yeah.
That's what's moving. It's not the globe.
Well, that doesn't prove anything. If we're moving or if they're moving, it's going to cause the same exact trails.
Well, there's an experiment called Aries failure that they put water in a telescope, and that showed what was moving. Has to do with the angle of the light, and I really can't explain that. But I've seen other things that tell me that we're not the one that's moving.
Why do you have a round globe?
I use this for demonstration purposes only. I mean, this is really wacky. A globe, a spinning ball. How does the water stick to that? I mean, really? You got to be
that's
wacky
gravity.
to think of this.
No, it's
Okay, gravity. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. I love this. Okay, so gravity is defined as pulling to the center of the ball. So if you have gravity, then there should be no natural flat places on Earth. Let's look at the Bonneville Salt Flats. Okay, the Bonneville Salt Flats was a salt lake that dried up.
Okay.
So if that salt lake had curvature, and I think it's like 80 to 100 miles long.
Okay.
So if that salt lake had curvature in it, then the salt that dried up should also have that curvature in it.
If the salt dried up.
If the water dried up and left the salt at the bottom, that should also have the reflecting the curvature, that same curvature.
Yeah, I guess.
Yes, definitely.
So okay. So
It's
you're
not,
looking
it's
at the
flat.
moon and the sun. You're looking at the moon and the sun. So
Okay.
they're moving around us.
Here we go.
So how far? Okay. So how far away is the moon and the sun from us?
Okay, here we go. Right? Do you know anything about me? No. Okay, you just came here because you heard this wacky flat Earth lady was here. Okay. We are not 93 million miles. We are close, 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 close. I would say like that. Look at that. And it's going around and around. That's Capricorn. There's the equator. And there's Cancer. That's how it goes. Did
So
you
the sun's
know?
moving in and out.
Yeah, it goes closer and further, closer and further. And then when it's in Capricorn, it goes faster. Yeah.
It goes faster when it's further away from
If
the
you want
center.
to understand that, look up something called quantum physics, and you'll see a super chilled disk suspended and following a metal track by magnetism in perpetual.
Okay, so you're saying the sun is extremely close.
Yeah.
And how do you prove that?
Well, because you can see
Or
it.
explain it or whatever. You're not
You
prove it,
can,
explain
on this website on the bottom, there's 3 videos on there. One of them is time lapse of the sun.
it. Okay.
You will see it go off in the distance and get smaller. If it were 93 million miles away, and the radius of the Earth is only 4,000 miles, I mean, you could not see it go away and get smaller if it were that far away. If it's changing size, it has to be close. If it's going away and getting smaller, it has
It's
to
just
be
a visual
close.
illusion, though, that it's getting smaller. It's not actually getting smaller. It's going down below.
Yeah, but you would never have. No, it doesn't go down. You would never
well,
have.
It doesn't go down. The ball is spinning, and it's.
Okay, you can
like
put
it's going
semantics on it, but we're talking about the same thing. You're promoting the ball, and I'm promoting the flat plane. That sun would never appear to get smaller unless it was close and small. But you have to decide that in your own mind, and I'm not going to argue.
But when it's further away out towards Capricorn, is it larger or smaller than it is when it's closer? In the center.
The
If you're
sun
saying it moves in and out on the flat Earth, then therefore it should be larger when it's closer to the center of the Earth, and when it's out of Capricorn, it should be smaller.
Yeah.
Is that
it's coming
what
into
happens?
we're coming into Cancer here. It's closer to us now. We're coming into Cancer. This is our summer.
Okay.
Yeah. I say that too. I say when it's in Capricorn, it's smaller. When it's out, a winter sun is small. It's smaller than the summer sun. Okay.
The sun is smaller than the summer sun.
Because of the distance away. It's away from us.
So distance does change the size of the sun.
Our perception of it, yes. Our visual perception of it, yes.
Well, that's
Physically,
the same semantics I was using then.
physically,
visual perception.
physically, it's not smaller. I mean, if we were able to go to the sun, it wouldn't physically change, but
Like we go to the moon.
but that person down there looks to be this tall. Is it really this tall? No. See, that's what perspective is.
No, I understand that. So how far? So how far away is the sun then?
Well, that's an interesting question. It could be as close as 10 miles from the surface. It could be, some people say 3,000 miles. I don't know. I'm going to say
So we fly
it's close.
planes at 30,000 miles, so wouldn't we
Well,
be above it?
I have a video on my channel that shows a plane flying at 37,000 feet. And he went to the left and videoed the moon over there, and then to the right, he videoed the sun. And the thing about that's very interesting that I picked up, the horizon is above the sun. Now, in order for that to happen, and I took a video of the dashboard, the control panel, and it said 37,000 feet. That's like 7 miles. So if the horizon's above the sun at 7 miles, wouldn't the sun have to be below 7 miles? You think about that.
Again, it
You
comes
think
down to
about that.
perceptions, though.
Well, you could say the plane console was wrong, but you have to consider how come it's so low.
Well, you know, I'm flying to Hawaii in a couple of weeks, so it's not really going to be.
Okay.
They're not.
You're going to fly at this trajectory. Are you taking off from Philly?
North.
So here, we're about here. Hawaii is here.
If it's flat, what's on the other side?
I don't know. We only dug a hole 8 miles deep. That's the biggest hole we dug.
Yeah, because I mean, what's the circumference of the Earth?
About 8,000 miles.
8,000 miles, correct. So
No, circumference is 24,901. Diameter is 8,000.
So how do you really think we're on flat Earth?
No, I don't think it. I know it.
How? I'm a plumber. And that's.
Tell me what water does, plumber.
It levels itself.
It's always seeking its own level. So all the oceans are touching each other.
Right?
So they're all level with each other.
No, not necessarily.
You get all right. Eliminate tides and
you have
waves.
Down at
But you're getting
down
rid
at
of
the Cape.
tides and waves?
No.
At the Cape off of Africa, where the two oceans meet, there is a distinct difference, change in level, elevation, and temperature. And you can actually see the difference of the two
I
oceans.
saw the line, but that could be a temperature change. But it's not like they're stepping up. They're not stepping up.
So all the footage of for instance, last night, NASA's
This is what you get on NASA's website. This is right on their website. So what's true? Which is America's true? There's United States. Which one's right? Same diameter.
Do you really believe in this?
No, I know it. Look at the signs. Look at all the scientific evidence. You always see a line of reflection. You don't see its
It's
spot.
on the Brooklyn Bridge. You don't know if you're interested, but I don't understand.
I know you
This
don't.
whole concept. If there's this, there got to be a that. So if you're telling me that the Earth is flat and there's nothing underneath,
I don't know what's underneath
we're just
this.
plating. We're just
Well,
plating.
you believe in a spinning ball. What's holding that up?
Like all the other spinning balls.
You feel
have
more
crazy gravity.
comfortable. You feel more comfortable believing in a spinning ball that's spinning
Are we the only flat planet?
1,000 miles an hour at the equator.
Due to, if we were flat, we wouldn't have gravity.
Correct.
The spinning of the Earth
Correct.
and its changing of the mantle.
You wouldn't
is
have-
what creates your gravity.
Do you know anything about torus fields?
About, let me see. Our
Okay.
magnetic fields, how they shift. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So
and
this
it's
is
created through, which is also what's saving our ass from the sun, because it's a protective being around.
the sun
Well, I
is
don't know if
not.
you believe in that.
The sun
And
is
all
not a
these
ball of hot
circles really
gases.
should be flat then.
The sun is not a burning ball of hot gases. It's a filament.
It's a filament.
Did you know there's free-flowing electricity up there in our atmosphere? Free-flowing electricity.
Oh yes, Nikola Tesla. And yes, I mean.
Yes.
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 I mean, it's
So
out
how
there.
come we're not
It's a
taking
grid.
advantage of that?
Earth is on a grid.